Hi, I'm Ryan Spence, and I help you succeed and be happy. In today's episode, I'm actually going to take a question from my Twitter, which is at MightyRye_Twitch, from Sabotage Fire. So thank you, Mr. Sabotage, for your question. His question is, I know that streamers feel like one slow day per week means the end of their streaming career. And so what he's meaning is referencing views on Twitch, specifically. So I call this the viewer count trap. We've all fallen this many times, and this, I'll be talking about this in terms of Twitch and viewership. However, it really applies to any of the social media platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and anytime we're looking at some sort of a metric, something like views or watch time. The viewer count trap is assuming that if your viewership goes down, all of a sudden people do not like you, or you're bad at streaming, or maybe I'm not attractive enough. Whatever negative or scary thoughts pop up in your head. This often leads people to feeling depressed or down or demotivated, etc., just based off of those thoughts. This video is going to help you avoid falling in that trap so that you can still be happy and confident streaming, which is actually going to help you build your stream or whatever social media platform you want to grow. So let's say you're a growing streamer and you have an average viewership of 20 viewers per stream, and then all of a sudden you stream and you only get 13. Now all of a sudden you're probably freaking out. You're like, what happened? And why is my viewership down? What am I not entertaining now? Am I not attractive now? Why aren't people supporting me? So notice the line of questioning here. There are all questions around something negative, and either between you as a streamer or with other people. Most likely you're feeling sad, mad, depressed. What you're doing is essentially driving your mood based off your viewer count, which is something that can be very dangerous to do. So what we have to do first is take a step back and question the questions. So let's do that. First, we ask, why was my viewership down? And that's truly what we're trying to get at. That's what we're trying to really understand. However, we started asking more and more negative questions, questioning ourselves, questioning whether we're entertaining, how we look. We're wondering if there's something internal wrong with us. Because we started asking more questions. We wanted to try to figure out, well, why is our viewership down? Okay, it's probably something I did or whatever. So self-blaming. So that can obviously be a very dangerous thing to do. Now, over time, if you continue to do that, you're going to be burned out on streaming. You're going to be worrying about, okay, well, I didn't have a good stream today, so I didn't look attractive, or you're just going to drive yourself nuts trying to figure out, well, what is it that I did that one time that got a good stream, and I got to make sure I do that every time, whether I want to do that or not. So you can see how you can kind of go a little crazy doing that. And this is going to leave you burned out and really going to hurt your stream in the long run. The key here is we need to stop ourselves when we start asking all these negative questions, because that's how we're going to end up feeling bad if we start going down the rabbit hole of asking negative questions. So now that we're not beating ourselves up, we can go back to the question, why was my viewership down? Now, just from a statistical standpoint, if you have a 20 viewership average, again, that is an average. So statistically, you're going to have days where you're at 13, you're going to be below the average, and then you're going to have days where you're at 27, where you're going to be above the average. It's important to recognize those days when you're below the average and above the average. Also, the higher your average viewership, the more likely you're going to have variance in that number. So what I mean by that is, if you have like 500 viewers, you're not always going to hit 500 viewers consistently as your average. You might have days where you're 750 and then 250, or maybe not that much variation, but maybe 500 and you'll be at 580 and you'll be at 420. The best advice that I have for you, and I've seen this in many other videos, and I've given this advice and I've received this advice, is just don't look at your viewer count. Just turn it off or just make sure you don't look at it. And honestly, I wouldn't even look at it after stream. The viewer count is just a metric that tells you, who came into your stream, or the average of that. And that's something that is going to be better to look at over the long term. So why does that number vary so much? Well, each view is a human being, and human beings have so much variation in how they feel, how they act, their day-to-day, what happens in their day-to-day. So we're basically, each view is just more and more variation mixed into everything. Each person has their own moods for the day, their own motivations, their own responsibilities they need to do. And so perhaps if one person says, okay, well, I got to take care of the kids today, I can't watch Twitch, or hey, I need to just take a nap instead of watching this person on Twitch. That's going to happen, and that is 1,000% okay. So remember that everybody has to do what they need to do, and that's perfectly okay. One of the best life lessons I've received, and this goes great for streaming, is nobody really owes you anything. This includes a view, a lurk, a subscription, whatever. Of course, we all love to get support and receive support. However, this is just like the analogy of being on a plane with an oxygen mask. Is you need to make sure you take care of yourself first. And that goes for you and the viewers, that, hey, if the viewer's just not feeling up to come hang out in the stream, or they have other things they'd rather do, they'd rather go to another stream or whatever, that's totally okay. Putting expectations on others to come to your stream is likely to make you very unhappy if they don't come to your stream, or you may even build resentment for those people. So, and that's going to show up in your stream eventually, as far as either being negative towards somebody that you're unhappy with, or just giving off an overall vibe of, hey, I expect something from you, or I'm needy and stuff like that. And we all know that a lot of times when people are needy, we're repelled by them. So don't be needy. Just have the expectations of, hey, I'm going to have fun. I'm going to have a stream. People show up. That's awesome. If people don't show up, that's awesome too. They need to do their thing. That's really been kind of the best way to approach the streaming attitude as well, is not having any expectations of other people and you just doing you. To summarize, be careful when you start asking yourself negative questions. Take a pause, take a deep breath, and say, okay, hold on. Maybe viewership was down. I don't need to ask any other negative questions. I don't need to feel bad about this. Your viewership is going to fluctuate a lot because it's based off of individual humans, and each human has a lot of variance in their day as well. How they feel about coming to your stream or watching streaming at all, or whatever responsibilities they need to do. So it's going to fluctuate. It's going to vary a lot. Don't worry about it. And then, better yet, don't drive your mood based off of your view count, and don't even look at your view count. Except if you want to look at trends over the course of maybe a week, might even be too much, but definitely not after a single stream, because that stream's fresh in your mind. You're going to start questioning things that you did, unless you stop yourself from asking those negative questions. And don't forget, please like and subscribe if you got any value from this video. Please comment below with any other streamer struggles that you want me to cover. I'd love to answer your questions, or maybe even do a video about them. So with that, remember to stay awesome, and I love you guys.